sell drugs. That's exactly how it was. Take the Sprite and take the codeine, and I pull me up a...
Boy, it's time to talk sports. What y'all gonna see me react to is sports stupidity at its finest.
So 2 years ago, the NBA media voted Joel Embiid over a Jokic as MVP. It was really an anti-Jokic vote.
Okay, here we go with this. Okay, if people want to say it was anti-Jokic, yes. People were not a fan of him winning 3 straight MVPs. I wasn't a fan of him winning 3 straight MVPs. But let's understand something here. Joel Embiid was a scoring champion, averaged 33 and 10, and his team won over 50 games. To say he wasn't considered for that MVP is disgusting.
He is the most overhyped, coddled, and over-discussed, player in the NBA. I mean, Jokic and Embiid on the floor at the same time, it's not close. They're not the same player. Is
he really comparing how they play in the Olympics to how they are as players? I think Nikola Jokic is the best player in the world. I understand. But I'm breaking down Colin Cowherd's argument. His argument is basically going based off seeing them both on the floor in the Olympics. Jokic looks better. He's the better player. It's not close. Did you say this when Joel Embiid, the last 2 meetings, Jokic dropped 40 on him? Did you mention this at all? By the way, Joel Embiid's also playing with other superstars on the team. His numbers, he's not going to be averaging the numbers he averaged in Philly because the whole offense is him, whereas now he's sharing the rock. Yes, Embiid's struggling in the Olympics. He's been terrible, but this still is a terrible argument.
Beyond padding his stats, Philadelphia keeps running coaches through him and teammates through him.
Pad his stats because he scores a bunch of points? I don't understand. How is he padding his stats? He's just that dominant of a player. But Colin Cowherd, after listening to him for years, he basically calls it stat padding. If you get a bunch of stats and you're a dominant player, you don't win a ring, you're just a stat padder, which with no context at all. So for this, Joel Embiid has shown no real evidence of the fact that he's stat pads.
I'm not asking for much, just maybe 1 Eastern Conference Finals. Milwaukee was all beat up this year. I mean, the Knicks fell apart physically, so did Miami. Can you win a second playoff series in the significantly weaker conference?
In 2019, in Game 7 of the second round against Toronto, Kawhi Leonard hit one of the craziest game wins of all time to go to conference finals. That's one reason why he didn't get to conference finals. 2020, Ben Simmons was hurt. He was the second best player, so they didn't get to the conference finals on that one. 2022, also with Ben Simmons, he was god-awful in the Atlanta series, so Embiid was basically alone against Atlanta, so none of y'all didn't get to conference finals. 2022, Embiid gets hurt against Miami. James Harden is useless in the playoffs, so therefore, that was a problem. 2023, I would say Joel Embiid should have closed that series out against Boston in Game 6 with James Harden, even with James Harden not playing as well, because James Harden did play good in Game 1 and 2, but after that, he didn't really play good. That was on Embiid. Outside of that, you're not going to sit here and blame Embiid because he hasn't got to a conference finals without actually telling the context of what happened in those series leading up to now on why he has been in conference finals. I see what you tried to do there. It didn't work. Also, why did he mention those hurt teams? Milwaukee, Giannis got hurt at the end, and it was against the Pacers in the first round. The Knicks were healthy against Joel Embiid. Miami got hurt against Boston. Jimmy got hurt in the play-in game. So what does that have to do with Joel Embiid?
And then you watch this Olympics, and it is the best players in the world, and he is an atrocious fit. He doesn't fit at all. And remember, the FIBA rules don't call as many fouls, and he lives at the free throw line. So you take that element out of his game at the Olympics, he's not only not effective, he hurts the team.
Now that I agree with. Joel Embiid does not fit this team at all. He is a ball stopper for this team. He is not good defensively for this team. Embiid, and I don't even think Embiid's all the way healthy, to be honest with you, but he shouldn't even been playing before. I would have had him stay at home and get rest and healthy for his next season. So yes, and he has been foul baiting and it hasn't been working. Yes, I understand all that. I agree with Colin Cowherd on that. He has been awful in the playoffs. He's been the worst player on the Olympic team. With that being said, what does this have to do with his NBA career? You're mixing Olympics with NBA career. It's two different things. You can't sit there and talk about his Olympic performance, but then bring up NBA. That's not how that works, sir.
They've given him James Harden. They've given him Jimmy Butler. They've given him Ben Simmons. Remember, Ben Simmons made an all-star game. and he can't win a second-round playoff series in the East. Jokic has never had a single teammate that's been an all-star.
First of all, oh my good Jesus, he just saying teammates. The Sixers let Jimmy Butler walk. That had nothing to do with Joel Embiid. It wasn't that Jimmy Butler didn't want to be there. They picked paying Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons over keeping Jimmy Butler, and they've suffered for it ever since. Also, Ben Simmons, you're saying he was an all-star, yeah. And also, Ben Simmons was a detriment to them in 2021 playoffs. And who in the league, who would want Ben Simmons right now? Tell me that. Ben Simmons is absolutely useless right now. And as far as James Harden, he's been a known playoff choker. So in reality, you're not really saying how this impacts Joel Embiid and how this makes him look bad. And James Harden also left because of Daryl Morey. He didn't leave because of Joel Embiid. And Ben Simmons also left because of comments Doc Rivers made. Those have nothing to do with Joel Embiid's play. Also, yes, Nikola Jokic, he has done that with teammates that have made all-star team. Understandable. But you also, the thing is, with Denver, they're not going to let his teammates go that actually help him win games. As Philly let Jimmy Butler walk and signed Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons, and they've been useless contracts ever since. Now we're gonna see, we re-signed Tyrese Maxey, where he's an all-star now. Paul George, he's of course an all-star. We're gonna see what happens after this. But based on Philly has not been great building around Joel Embiid, and they've also burned bridges with players, which the ones that actually helped him have left. So again, this has nothing to do with Joel Embiid's play. This has nothing to do with him not getting to a conference finals. You're just saying stuff just to be saying stuff, that's what typical media guys do. They say stuff and don't actually tell the truth just to help their narrative. Oh, and this is from a separate segment. I really want to break down here because he's about to talk pure nonsense right here.
The Sixers, as they've built around him, have yet to win a second-round playoff series in the East. And that's been 8 years. Young Celtics, dysfunctional Knicks, Pacers rebuilding. LeBron leaves Miami. Kawhi leaves Toronto. The East has been wide open for almost a decade.
Oh, my God. You mean the Celtics team that took LeBron James to a Game 7 without Kyrie Irving or Gordon Hayward? You talking about that? Oh, yeah. They were so bad. Oh, yeah. No, sir, they were legit. The Knicks haven't been dysfunctional for all 8 of those years. And did you just say the Pacers? The Pacers haven't even been rebuilding that long. But did you say LeBron James left Miami? You do realize he left Miami in 2014. Embiid's first game wasn't until 2016. Second of all, he left Miami and went to the Cavs. They're in the East. Now, if you're saying LeBron left Cleveland, if that's what you mean, okay. He left in 2018. So it hasn't been 8 years. And then you said Kawhi Leonard left Toronto. Kawhi Leonard was only in the Eastern Conference for 1 year and he dipped. There's still a Giannis in the East. You forgot to miss out on the 2-time MVP. Oh, you forgot to mention Giannis is still in the East. Like, what are we talking? I'm done with Colin Cowherd. I'm done. Now, I'm not saying Embiid's a perfect player. I'm not saying he doesn't have flaws. But what Colin Cowherd is saying about him makes no sense. He's not getting away with the team. He didn't get in the way of Jimmy Butler. Philly got in the way of Jimmy Butler by not paying him. He didn't get in the way of Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons not developing a jump shot. He really got in Joel Embiid's way most of the time. Has he gotten in the way of Tyrese Maxey? He became an all-star. Did he get in the way of James Harden being an all-star, leading the league in assists? Did he get in the way of James Harden? No. Daryl Morey got in the way of James Harden staying there. And as far as coaches, if you're going to sit here and try to defend Doc Rivers, he deserved to be fired. Matter of fact, he shouldn't even have the job to begin with. That's a bad coach. Nick Nurse is a great coach for Joel Embiid, and we will see that now he has Paul George with Maxey and Nick Nurse coaching next year, what Joel Embiid look like. I understand Joel Embiid needs to be better. He needs to be in better shape. He needs to stop foul baiting. But we need to stop trying to compare the Olympics to what Joel Embiid does in the NBA, because that's two different things. Come on now.
The block and sell drugs, that's exactly how it was. Take the Sprite and take the codeine, and I pull me up a